Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on a beautiful afternoon here in Dubai at the Dubai Autodrome, the paddock just over behind me, to take a first in-person look at the new Lamborghini Huracan STO. The STO is the Super Trofeo Omologato, the road-going version of Lamborghini's Super Trofeo race car of the Huracan. This has been a car I've been trying to track down in person to take a full look at. We're going to be hearing it today as well and going through all of the details, but a huge thanks to Lamborghini at the HQ and also here in the Middle East, as well as Cars, who have made it possible for me to take a look at this today and share some news with you that I have confirmed my order for an STO to be the first Lamborghini Shmeemobile, and I am beyond excited. More news about what I might be doing in terms of spec and when that might be coming very, very shortly. But let's take a look then here at the new Huracan STO. The first thing that I've got to say about this car is wow, it looks incredible. I'm beyond excited for what's going to be coming on the channel in the future with the Huracan STO. But let's go for a walk around to take in all of the details and of course to hear it very shortly. This is my first time seeing the car in person. It's just been unloaded here. A huge thanks to those who have been involved to make it possible to take a look at this and to share it with you. But like I'm sure many of you, when I first saw the pictures of the new STO, and like many road cars these days that are heavily based on aerodynamics, there's so much going on that it's almost a little bit overwhelming at first to understand how the rear wing works with its multiple levels and adjustment, the bodywork that the car has with all of these edges and the panels that have been inherited from the likes of the Super Trofeo race car. Lots of the bodywork is made from carbon fibre, including this whole front clamshell, the Cofango as it's called, which actually pivots forwards as opposed to the traditional luggage space that you would find up front in the Lamborghini Huracan. But this is a 640 horsepower, naturally aspirated V10 beast, rear-wheel drive, 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox, very, very quick, and of course it is designed to be taken to the racetrack, and you can bet in the future that is exactly what the Shmeemobile is going to be doing. I'm going to take it to track days, I'm going to take it to the Nürburgring Nordschleife, I'm going to have as much fun and share those experiences with you. But how epic to be here with this car today. Let's start going through it then in detail, the new Huracan STO. Unusually for Dubai, the sun is currently dipping in and out from behind the clouds, which gives us a slightly different perspective to normal, but this particular STO is in the launch colour scheme, so the dual tone with the blue and the orange. And I think a lot of customers will choose to go for the marketing and the communications colours that we're looking at here. But what's going to be fascinating is to see all of the other options that customers go for, because there is an extensive list of colour choices from Lamborghini. Plus, you can then go to ad personam to do the bespoke and individual options to take it even further beyond that. And we're going to have some crazy results, believe me. I can't wait to go through that process myself and bring you guys along as well. But this particular car then, the blue and the orange, it's Blue Lefay, which in Italian means Icelandic blue. We've got the orange accents in Rancho, California, Californian orange, and when you're looking at it in person, honestly, it looks great. But let's start then with the design, and right around the front, this is all very reminiscent of the Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive that I did actually drive recently with Lamborghini Pangborn in the UK, from whom I am ordering my STO. You can see this design, it's quite different from that of the four-wheel drive variants. Of course, internally and mechanically, it's all quite different as a result, but also visually with these distinct triangular angles that you can see all around the car. But fundamentally, they've had to rework things a lot to allow both more downforce and cooling, all of which goes through the bonnet space, which traditionally in a Huracan would house one small suitcase, for example. In this, you can fit a helmet in there, and I'm going to show you how it opens up in a moment. If we come round, you have the louvres here over the arches, all part of this carbon fibre construction. These to help allow the swelling air inside the wheel arches to be released as quickly as possible. Coming further back down the car, you have the intakes for the cooling, obviously the roof snorkel, which no doubt will give an incredible sound as this pulls air in towards the engine, also for the cooling, and the shapes of these louvres that you have over the engine bay deck lid to take a look at that as well. Racing style, you have the catches here, which you open up to lift it and take it out of place. Coming back towards this fairly extreme rear spoiler that we have mounted high on the rear deck lid. In fact, look at the angles and shapes of all of this, and in fact this is heavily inspired from the Super Trofeo race car and the GT3 race car version of the Huracan cars. While the Super Trofeo is Lamborghini's one-make series, the Huracan GT3 has had great success, winning the Daytona 24 Hours multiple times, for example, and many other races as well. And that's where you get these sharp lines that go over the rear arches. Now in the pictures, I was trying to understand exactly how all of this worked, but it's really hard to understand. But this is about streamlining the air So you can imagine the air comes through. You've got the necker duct here where it opens and gets wider to accelerate the air coming through for cooling. That, alongside the shark fin in the center, keeps the car more stable and planted at high speed, and of course it will go very, very quickly. We'll get to all of the details in the engine shortly. And then you come around towards the back where again it's pulled out back here, pulled out towards the side to again streamline it and to help keep the car planted. But look at how open all of this is behind the rear tires. Again, airflow to escape. Back here where you have the pipework of the exhaust system, look at that. That's actually stunning to be able to see through beneath the tail lights. Then you have those two gigantic tailpipes. I really like this STO detail that you have milled into the mesh back here as well. Obviously the gearbox just inside, and then as you'd probably expect, the aggressive diffuser that it carries at the back too. If we head though to take a look inside the STO, check this out. The new sport seats, which will certainly be my choice. You can opt to have it with the full carbon fiber buckets, the racing seats that were found in the Performante. You've got the STO lettering as the dashboard comes on. We'll turn it on in a moment as well. But in here, quite fundamentally changed. You've got the carbon skin for the door cards as opposed to the normal, perhaps more refined versions. This is the track specification. So we've got the titanium half cage sitting behind the seats. You've got the track telemetry camera system installed as well, and with the specific interior pack that's available with the STO embroideries and the dual tone for the seats, with the blue and the orange in this case to match with the exterior, all of the blue stitching around the door pulls, around the Alcantara on the dashboard, and also of course on the steering wheel where we have the three modes: STO, Super Trofeo, Omologato, which literally means Omologato is homologated, the road version. Then we have Trofeo for going out on the track, and then we have Pioggia, which is for driving in less than perfect weather conditions, i.e. when it's raining, the Italian for rain. Now I do actually have the key on me. Let me quickly show you this, and I think it's time to take a step on board and actually start this car. So again, carbon skin for the floor, and here we are. My first ever time in the Huracan STO. We've got a fire extinguisher right behind, all part of the track package. We've got a view that's limited, I think, to say the least, back behind us. But let me just flip this up. We'll wake up the ignition for a moment. It will all turn on, I think, for maximum effect. Let's start it in Trofeo. One press of the button, take a listen. Oh yes, we've got the V10. We've got the new interface that came with the EVO, so the touch panel that's here in the central console, which gives you lots of information, including extra data about the brakes and their temperatures, all of which will just start up in a moment. This is a pre-production car, which is amazing to be able to have the opportunity to just explore and be able to take in. Full Alcantara steering wheel, blue 12 o'clock stripe up top as well. We'll accept that. There we go. I can hear the valves. Oh wow, that revs up sharply. 3,000 RPM. Very, very sharp here then. Check this out. What else do we have? We've got the track telemetry, as I said. Ah yes, we would need to be in gear to access that. In the vehicle, we've got our settings, LDVI, Lamborghini Dinamica Veicolo Integrata, which is the control of all of the systems together. This car has rear wheel steering as well to give it a super sharp steering experience. I cannot wait to drive it. I'm not allowed to today. We've got to wait a couple more months until it's going to be possible to actually take the car out. Then back here we've got the control for the gearbox into reverse, as we've seen on the previous models. Just a sense of drama and occasion that comes from driving that. And the rear view camera comes up on the dashboard in front. The lovely milled out shift paddles as well to pop it into gear going forwards, or P back into park. If we pop it through the different modes, up into STO, things get a little bit quieter, and go the other way into Pioggia, everything goes blue. Of course, this is our take it easy mode, restricted, not quite as noisy, still incredibly loud. I'm actually fascinated by the amount of volume, so I'm going to let it warm up a little bit more before we hear it a touch further. But in the meantime, actually let's shut it off and take a step out, because I want to show you inside the front storage space. The thing that was particularly of interest to me and how they've worked this. So you might be thinking there's a button perhaps on the key or inside to release it, but no, this front storage, the Cofango, as I said, which is a combination of the Italian words for hood and for fenders brought together, actually has two clips that you can pop here, one on each side. So you give that a release, that's lifted up, come round to the other side. All of these details like the tricolore, the Italian flag, the STO lettering there on the center are all very, very smart. Press this side as well, it pops, then we can lift it up and it pivots forwards, race car-esque, to be quick and easy to to replace, I guess, in theory, although I hope that's never the case. You can see that's full carbon fiber. The whole car is made obviously to save weight where possible, 1,339 kilos, 43 kilos lighter than the Performante, thanks to 75% of the body panels being made with a very, very clever sandwich construction for the carbon fiber. But this is what we've come to see, because like I said, cooling now comes through here, so you don't have as much storage space. And in fact, if we pull out the toolkit just here, you can see the space is shaped to store a helmet. You can actually take out that container and have a little bit more space beneath, should you prefer. But this is with the car, to pop your helmet in there, to go straight to the racetrack, to have it all prepared, ready to go out, slide that back down, pop that bag back on top for the time being, nice and easily. Of course, it's a car that isn't chasing practicality in the way that, let's say, the EVO rear-wheel drive is, as the more road-friendly variant. It does still have MagnaRide 2.0, so the second generation of MagnaRide, which means no doubt an exceptional ride quality and experience while out as well on the road. Obviously you can see the lowered ride height back here in particular. There's not a whole lot of space between the tyre and the arches. These are the Heck wheels, as they're called. You can also upgrade them to have the magnesium wheels instead. Of course, those do come at a cost. And now with the car in the shadows, this is more like what I'm going to be seeing with my STO when it arrives in the UK. Just walking around this thing, mesmerised by it, because honestly it's so impressive in person. When I first saw the pictures originally, I was a little bit anxious about what it would actually be like. I'd already expressed my interest, but I wasn't sure that in person I'd love it in the way that I do, and it just looks mega. To access the engine bay, rear mid-mounted of course, similarly to the front, you have the full removable engine bay cover, including the snorkel and the shark fin. This whole piece lifts off. You've got the clasps, one on each side, so we'll open those so I can demonstrate the process, but you do basically need two people to do this safely. If we release the one on this side as well, there's then a secondary catch just under here. Pull this and you can lift it up, where we have that familiar and iconic 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10, the development of the engine originally introduced back in the Gallardo that we've seen as well through various iterations of the Huracan and also in the Audi R8. And to close this back down, we pull this catch very carefully, lower it into place, give it a click back down. So this car produces 640 horsepower, 585 newton meters of torque. All of that power goes through the 7-speed dual clutch gearbox to the rear wheels, which means out of this you get a 0 to 100 km/h time, or 62 miles per hour, of 3 seconds dead. You get a 0 to 200 km/h sprint, or 124 miles per hour, in 9 seconds dead, and it goes to a top speed of 310 kilometers an hour, 193 miles per hour. Of course, that is a touch shy of the likes of the Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive because of the addition of all of the aerodynamics. Aerodynamics at high speed introduce drag, but this is a car not designed for a top speed run on the autobahn, but rather setting lap times around racetracks, and I'm sure that's what we're going to be hearing much more of in the not too distant future as well. What I would like to do before the sun completely sets off into the distance, the Dubai Autodrome goes all around where we are at the moment, is actually warm it up a little bit so we can hear a touch more. Before we do that though, one other thing to mention: the STO has CCMR brakes, a brake derived from motorsport, immense stopping power as a result. But let's climb back on board just to start this car and enjoy a little bit more of that V10 sound from the Super Trofeo Omologato. You can just shortcut and press through the centre there, start it up, I think into Trofeo just for the exhaust valves opened and a touch more sound. But you will notice there's not a lot of practicality. You won't be fitting any bags on the parcel shelf. You could fit a briefcase or two just behind the seats before. You do have, I guess, the passenger footwell if you don't mind the comfort of your passenger, but these seats themselves are really nicely finished. Carbon fibre up around here. This is the lever to pull them forwards and backwards. You do have some movement of the backrest as well, and then you can see we've got the 4-point harnesses for each seat. Again, you can have these trimmed depending exactly how you'd like them, and they've got this carbon style piece for the padding, also up to the Lamborghini embroideries on the headrest. It's a really cool view from inside the cabin of the STO. If I step out, it sounds pretty good out here as well, if you ask me. We're not going to be seeing that. I'm sure the next generation of this car, I'm going to be seeing this in the future. You know, when these cars step onto the next gen, we'll be having hybrids, certainly turbocharged. Long live the naturally aspirated engine, I say. This must be just the most incredible of experiences to be driven in anger. A quick little listen then. Woo-hoo-hoo! That is really a crazy sound. You've got the door pulls here instead of the traditional door handles per se. But let me just turn this off for the moment. Back into silence, step back out. So I need to tell you a little bit more about the STO in the Shmeemobiles. What is the plan? Well, I popped my name down on the list quite a long time ago, in fact. I've now confirmed the order by placing my second deposit, which means that will be held until I do my specifications somewhere, I guess in the not too distant future, because at the moment I'm expecting delivery maybe towards the end of 2021, which will of course be very exciting. I'll bring you along for as much of the journey as I can. Of course, being a Lamborghini, being my first Lamborghini, and being a Shmeemobile, the one thing I can guarantee is that it will be a pretty crazy and bold specification. It will be something along the lines of the blue and orange on the GTA, the red and gold on the Ford GT, the dual tone blue that I have on the Senna. Of course, thinking about something that will suit the character of the car, but also be quite unique. That will be the goal, and we'll see what I can do in terms of some of the other options. I'll be going through all of that, hopefully in the not too distant future as well. I'm certainly considering what I'm going to be doing already. For now though, I would like to say a huge thanks again to Lamborghini at the base, to Lamborghini out here in the Middle East, and to Cars who have made it possible for me to take a look at this car right at the end of the tour it's been doing in the GCC region, going to Dubai, it's been to Oman, it's been to Saudi Arabia, and literally it is now going to go from here to the airport to be flown back to Italy, all right at the last minute. What a special opportunity for me to be able to see it, and how excited I can tell you right now I am for this to arrive. It is going to be an epic thing. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching as always, guys. Thank you for all of your support. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. It's crazy to think that finally a Lamborghini is arriving, and I can't wait for it. That's it though. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.